we are back in action.
Yep.
And we are sorry.
yeah. People let us know that we had missed.
We made people mad.
Yeah.
People got attached. Let's get our mics close to our mouths so I don't have any editing nightmares. So this can go up smooth and diddly. Yeah, so we apologise. We missed a week last week and we're both generally a bit pissed off about it. I feel like I've let us down a little bit. I really do. I'm a little ticked off. But it was just one of those weeks.
Yeah.
We couldn't find, and things were coming in last minute. What was it?
The thing is, we're both really busy, but also like our schedules are completely unrelated. Like, so there's no crossover at all. So usually, like that Friday night is where we kind of dedicate an evening where we can just chill, get the podcast recorded,
and we have it booked in, and we do, and we really stick to it. But because I was away, it threw the whole thing out of whack.
Yeah,
because then, so I was literally not even nearby to even be able to do it. And then you couldn't do it the day before, you couldn't do it the day after, then I couldn't do it the day after that.
Yep.
Then we were trying, we thought maybe get done on the Monday itself, and then that just went out the window because you had...
I was away
you weren't here,
yeah. It was just one of them. Yeah. But we apologise, and I can't foresee this happening,
Well, it's a little bit our fault because we didn't warn each other early enough of the fact that we were buggered either side of that Friday.
Yeah, I think last Saturday, not last Saturday, it'd be the Saturday before, we finished the podcast, obviously the night before, and I was leaving on the morning. We're like, yep, I'll speak to you in the week and we'll sort it.
Yeah, literally said it on the drive.
Yeah, and then, obviously the week just went on and we never actually sorted it, so apologies, but yeah, we're back at it. But I've genuinely had more messages on the week that we didn't do a podcast from people saying, where's the podcast?
I know.
And we've got, a couple of really nice ones from a guy saying, really changed his life from some of the things that we spoke about, which was cool. I
showed somebody that today.
Yeah.
So actually, do you know what? Who was it? Do you remember?
Jace, I think, isn't it?
Jace. Yeah, listen, I saw your message.
Jace.
And, dude, the fact that you listened to us so intently that we've had a positive effect on your life. One... You're a weirdo. Like us, so welcome to the tribe. And we're super happy that we're having such a positive effect on some of you guys, Even if this is only one person that feels better from what we do, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But it's more.
Oh, so, God, yeah.
We're basically superheroes.
I think, again, I've got a few people that are fairly, consistently will drop me messages about the CREWCast. But, this week of missing one, I had loads of other people. Different people messaging.
Popping in, like,
excuse me?
It's Monday.
Yeah, where is it? To be fair, they left it till halfway through the week. It wasn't really until Wednesday, and people were like, come on.
Because we've had a few where we're editing issues. So here's what we're promising is we will always record from this point on the podcast that's due. Now, unless we can't control the internet, and we can't control thunderstorms, alien invasions, the rise of the gender neutrals, we can't predict any of that.
Yeah.
What we all do is our utmost to not miss another week in the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Why is your beard gone? Don't chuckle at me, boy.
It was doing my fucking head in. It was doing my head in.
You just didn't have the patience for it, did you?
It genuinely,
that suits you, that look.
The beard is definitely more work for me than the hair. And I just think, which is fine, but I just don't think my beard's good enough. It wasn't thick enough. And yes, I could have left it longer and it would have improved. But I'm never going to have a great beard because...
Do you know what you are?
What?
You're a Beckham beard.
Yeah.
You're a Beckham beard where you see the length on your chin now? That all over is you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That length, which you could do with a number 3 or 4.
Well, I did at first. I was like, I'm just going to trim it nice and tight and see what it looks like. And then I did that, and I was like, oh fuck it, I'm just going to get rid. It was already done, and I was just like, it was nice.
It wasn't so long. You couldn't just grow it back quick anyway.
I was going to say it was a couple, maybe 3 months or something of growth.
Yeah.
It was reasonable, and I'm not really that attached to it. I always felt like I never looked in the mirror and fully accepted my face with a beard. I was always looking, and then I was like, "Oh, I've got a beard today." And this is my real face underneath. I'm more attached to my own face than the beard.
It's a good job you attached your own face. It's going to be with you for a while.
Well, yeah.
Until we can be put into different sleeves.
Yeah, I swear every time I grow my beard, though, and then I get rid of it, My jaw is smaller than I remember.
Yeah, and your chin is closer to your mouth, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just like, oh, this is weird. It takes like a good couple of days to get used to it. I'm just like, all my proportions are off now.
How matchy are we?
I know.
Well, this isn't even intent because you turned up in work clothes. There's no way you knew what I was wearing.
No.
And so you've got on light denim blue ripped jeans.
Yeah.
I've got on light denim ripped blue jeans. I literally had the same T-shirt on when I came back from what I was doing today.
Well, you gave me this one, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you ordered a size too big.
Yeah.
And then you gave me this one.
Yeah.
So it's literally the identical T-shirt.
Yeah, it's a nice T-shirt though.
It is nice.
I like it.
I like it.
And so instead, what I've done is donned, if you're on the U of Tube, which we will have no blackouts. I'm crushing the game.
I said it.
I've got another fresh 128 gigabyte. Bought two new cards that's gone on that bitch. So no blackouts. No, we've got dedicated podcast cards now. So no excuses for that side of things.
Nice.
But yeah, I've got my late night legacy.
I do like that.
So it's just sick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
so
sick
if you're not
t-shirt.
on YouTube, it's a black T-shirt with a really cool. It's a giant pink heart with a lightning bolt through it, and it says "Late Night Legacy" in kind of like I don't know what you call it, scratch text.
It's almost like what it reminds me of is almost like a paintbrush because it like kind of taps off, or even like a lipstick.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? If someone like
I think brush strokes is the closest,
Yeah.
definitely. And it says obviously "Late Night Legacy" in the brush strokes, and it's really cool because it's like a pre-aged print as well.
Yeah.
So the more that wears, the better it's going to look. And then on the back, it's got like
Just
that
a
same
simple-
just the logo, the heart with the light, just in the middle on the back.
It is a nice logo.
Like it, and I'm a proper big boy now. I'm size large in everything. Yeah.
Unit.
Yeah. Fucking
massive, are you, pal?
But not when I've got a no pump. I'm like tiny now. Then when I go in the gym, I look good, and then I leave, and I'm like,
I had somebody message me the other day. I can't remember where they said they were from now, though. It was like Arizona or something like that, I think. And they were like, he was like inputting some of the things that we say. And it was just like
in the middle of like American chat.
And then he was saying like some of the stuff is really funny to him because it's obviously so fucking alien. Because like, well, I'm black country, which is weird for the rest of the fucking UK.
Yeah.
And then, although I'm not like severely black country to the point where you can't understand me. That's like, you know.
But I played your voicemail out loud because I was listening to what your reply was, and I was just sat with everyone. And the guy who was looking after me for today at the is from Birmingham.
Yeah.
And he played it and went, yeah, you can tell he's from Midlands.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because but yours is not Dudley. It's not like this, you know.
No.
So you're lucky.
I travelled around a bit though as well, so I think I picked up like bits of.
You just have things like "sigh" and "why."
Oh,
that one,
Yeah.
the subtle bits.
yeah.
So that's because people think that Birmingham is all right, I'm from Birmingham. But that's actually Dudley.
Yeah,
It's not Birmingham.
No, yeah,
Birmingham is more subtle with the things like, so a sigh, I was going on the way down, you know. Like, it's a bit more, like Stu speaks from Street Fighter Series if you watch that.
Yeah,
That's Brummy. Yeah. So, and today, do I look radiant, by the way?
you do. You look marvelous.
Makeup.
Oh, really?
Still got it on my face.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah.
You can't tell though because it's so natural looking.
To be fair, you just look very preened. Like
Is that it? Yeah.
everything's
She did
sharp.
preen me.
Yeah. Do you get your eyebrows like?
No, she just brushed them.
Ah.
Yeah. Brushed them.
They're looking, very
Yeah, I did pluck them.
directioned.
Yeah, I'm plucking them. Yours need plucking.
Yeah,
They would be
I
epic.
should- yeah, I
If
should
you
probably.
take those out underneath,
Yeah, I probably should.
you should go somewhere who knows what they're fucking doing now.
Yeah.
Don't let me do it.
I don't. Give
Ever
a
not
fuck.
do it?
Maybe if
Should
I
I
asked
try and
her.
pin you down? I thought that'd be a dream looking at those. Look at them. Like a blank canvas.
It's effort, isn't it? Oh, freaking
You're not watching a movie, she sits there and, no, she's not into that.
no. No.
Not
Well,
she's
I'll
not a
ask
picker.
her.
She's not a picker.
No, I'll ask her if she wants to.
Most,
pluck my eyebrows.
if you were in the house with a woman for long enough, they just start coming at you with tweezers. They wouldn't even ask. They just, like little lobster claws coming at you.
I don't even know if Emma plucks her eyebrows. I don't know. I don't think she has to. Maybe she does like a little bit, but I don't think she needs to.
So she's intelligent with perfect eyebrows.
I think she's
You're
just
welcome,
got little
ladies. You can
eyebrows.
follow Emma and hate her.
She's got really long eyebrows. I know that they're super long. Like if she doesn't comb them, like they can, like the actual hairs are long, so you could like back comb them and they'd be like up here. So you have to like make sure that they're like in line.
Like the Muppets when they were frozen and like
Yeah.
they freeze them in ice. And they
Yeah.
just got that.
Yeah. So they have, but to be fair, they go in the direction that they're meant to. But if you ever like brush them up, they are like
Proper long.
Long,
How
yeah.
funny. Maybe that's what they're supposed to be like. That's why ours are always, because we always be ours. You ever go to the barbers and they buzz your eyebrows down?
Yeah, I haven't had it for ages, but yeah, I
all the
remember them
time.
used to do that.
They'll be like, all right then, guess you're doing that.
Yeah.
Too late now. Zim, zim.
Yeah, because I didn't want eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not a 90-year-old dude with
Maybe
eye
that's
whiskers.
maybe that's why they do it though, because there's going to be like stragglers. Because I do occasionally get like one
that
that's
odd,
like,
but yeah, that comes out of nowhere.
yeah, like where does he grow from?
How it's like they stay lay back to like down, stay down, stay down. He's got a wedding today. Now, out.
Yeah, they literally it stays flat, and I only notice it when it's like 2 inches long. I'm like, how have you been on my fucking head?
I mean, ninja brows.
Anyway, enough about our eyebrows. Shall we get cracking with the run?
I just needed that juice, dude. I'm so. Let me talk about my awesome day
Oh, okay.
with the makeup. Let's explain the makeup.
No,
Not
I
just like
thought-
I'm walking around with makeup on.
He
All the time.
wears it all the time.
So I was at a super secret thing today.
Can you say what it is? Yeah?
Can't actually, not allowed. Nothing. Can't say shit, which is kind of cool. But had to go to some very prominent studios to shoot. I was a commentator. It involves a UFC fighter. It involves a very dark day in November and a farmyard animal. And it took all day to film, and I was in the biggest set. I'll show you a picture. If you've been on my story, so you'll have seen it. The biggest green screen I've ever seen. Just cameras and everything. There was a crew of about 20 people.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it.
Really?
Yeah. It's to do with something that I'll announce very soon, and it's a very cool partnership. And it was really good, and it went really, really well, but long day. I had to go down, didn't get down, so I've been filming all day Thursday for rain. Did that, and then had to go straight from there to Manchester to then get up and be in at like 8:30 to film until 6:30, and get back here at 8. You landed here at 8, and then we've got back on the podcast.
Yeah. I jumped in the shower
Yeah.
because I'm working on the bathroom again. I had 2 days booked in back on the
How was it?
bathroom. It's all right. Yeah, got a good amount of work done. The shower is in, but obviously I've still got a tile. And
That's
then
a long thing, isn't it, this?
yeah, there was loads of other.
3 weeks now.
Well, I had a full week on it, and then
Jesus.
I haven't had anything for a while, and then I've had 2 days, and I'm gonna have maybe a couple of hours tomorrow. But I've still probably got 4 or 5 days of toiling, I reckon.
You're going to be bollocks by the end of this. 'Cause
Yeah,
you're still working in the meantime.
yeah, it's all right though. I enjoy it. It's not
Do
like
you know what you need?
what a
You
slave.
need, you need Mexican workers.
Yeah,
We don't have them here.
no.
So you Americans are lucky. You can't. They could just drive to a Walmart and go like, "Anybody want work today?" And they got like 20 people going, "Sí, señor. Yes, yes, work, yes. Jalapeno."
I don't know whether they say that.
I think they do. Hey, chulo. You want the work? You fucking cockroach. Yeah, we don't have that.
No.
No luxuries of the old Walmart Mexican
Nowhere here wants to
workers.
fucking work.
Yeah. So it's been a busy one, but we're back and everything's good. And it's good to be busy, and I'm really happy about it all. Other than the fact I've got not enough time. Literally, this last week, I've honestly not had enough hours in the day. It's bizarre. I've said that many times. I actually mean it this week.
Yeah.
I physically looked at my week and thought, I can't fit everything I need to do into the week. It just doesn't
Yeah,
fit.
Yeah.
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 It's been crazy.
Yeah, I've had a bit of that this week. It's not been every single day. I had like one day which was a bit more flexible, but yeah, it's been hectic. But it's going to happen. We're busy people.
I'm glad. Yeah, it's good. And you're going to have these peaks because we're going to have everything's peak and trough, isn't it? So make most of the peaks.
Were you away last weekend?
You'd been away for 2 weeks. I've trained.
You
in 2
went away
weeks.
last weekend and then you were
Trained
back.
5 times in 2 weeks. Just been away, but I did take the bank holiday weekend. So when I went away, I came. So it was away the Friday we normally film. Where was I then? Oh, I can't remember.
Birthday.
I was somewhere down. I had to go down south for stuff, and then I stayed. Did I stay down there? Yes, I stayed down there to come back up on the Saturday morning, to get back on Saturday morning, to then go riding with the lads, because I'd already arranged that to go into the weekend, and I wasn't going to let them down, and I needed the fucking break.
Yeah.
Because the week had been that rammed. I've been filming pretty much every day all the way through the week. And, yeah, cool thing. So, one, you need to learn to ride a fucking motorbike.
I know. I had like other people messaging me about
I've had people messaging me to tell you to learn to ride a motorbike because there's been 3 people so far since I listened to the podcast that have had their tests.
I saw one guy was saying he was like a few lessons in, and did he send you the video of the guy who was like stood up on the bike while it was doing a wheelie? No. And he was like, "You need to learn." You need to
he sent me that, but I think he sent me that saying next step or something. Same guy.
Yeah, like, sent me that and was saying, "Yeah, you need to learn to be able to do this." And I was just like, "I'm pretty sure I'd die if I did that."
Well, yeah. So I've had 3 people who are 2 are close to passing the test, 1 just passed, and all that when we're riding. So yeah, you need to do that. 2. So Lee, who obviously we've had on the podcast before, came down to ride with Mark again, but Lee came with a surprise. Bought a new bike.
Oh, was I?
Did not tell us.
Yeah.
Just racked up round the corner on a beautiful 1997 CBR 900 Fireblade. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's the cool big boy classic one. It was the killer. This thing came out and changed the way super sport bikes were made. It devastated everything. Not because it was the fastest, but it was the lightest and most nimble, and it just trashed everything in the bends. And it's a 900 on the streets. It pulls like a train too because it's super light.
Yeah.
But it's the old school Honda with, it's got little holes in the front of the fairing. No?
I don't know it.
You'd know it if you saw it. You'd be like, yeah, you recognise it. But he's got the good one. Now, they made variations of it for over I think from 93 to 99. And nothing really changed much. They just tweaked it as it went along.
Yeah.
And he's got the back end version where there's 2, technically 2 more versions after his. But his has these fish gills in the rear tail.
Yeah.
And that's what does it.
Yeah.
This back tail with these shark gills. And, the whole thing, he came around the corner on it because I was testing Mark's bike because he's changed his forks. And he came the other way down the road and he wasn't expecting me. I wasn't expecting him. And as he pulled around the corner at the roundabout, I didn't even see him. I saw the bike.
Yeah.
Straight away I went, oh, that's nice. What's that? Yeah. And then I saw him waving frantically on the top. And then I could see the smile through his helmet.
Yeah.
And then we rode back together and I pulled in. And as he came in behind me, I just watched Mark's face and his head just tilt and go, what the fuck? Because prior to this, Lee had a VFR. Which is a nice bike, but it's a touring bike, you do the distance. So yeah, we had great fun, went out, rode, and there were so many bikes out. We rode all the way to Aberystwyth, which some of you guys said go and do. Beautiful ride. Aberystwyth, the most woefully boring place in the universe. Oh my God. Yeah, nothing there.
Yeah, Abba's just Abba.
Not a beach either. Can we just say that as well? Dirt masquerading as sand. I was watching kids just put ash on themselves. I'm burying myself, mummy. They're like, that's as close as you're going to get living to actually being buried.
Sorry about that.
You bash the mic.
Just put it to the mic.
Honestly, worst beach ever. And there's nothing there, literally nothing there. Everything's shut down. There's 800 fish and chip shops. I didn't want fish and chips. And I was like, well...
You did go to the seaside though, so that's your only option.
I got ice cream.
Ice cream and fish and chips.
But I was like, well, come on. I've been told, boys, there's a castle here. Let's go sit. And the bloke who was on the team went, yeah, it's a castle. It's there. Just pointed around the corner. And he just went, not much of it left, though. And he'd be right.
Yeah.
There is a wall
right.
and a turret. And that is fucking it. So, Aberystwyth, never going back. The ride to it, though, great.
I think that's a bit extreme.
No, never going back. Never, ever going back. Most disappointing ending to a ride I've ever had. Terrible. Couldn't even get a coffee. Terrible.
Well, I suppose, I don't know what it's going to have been like since coronavirus, because surely a lot of the places, all the touristy places would have shut down.
No, even on the front, there's nothing that's like a closed shop front cafe or anything. There's just houses and closed beachfront hotel things that were always awful.
Yeah, they were B&Bs and
yeah,
shit.
And this shitty little pier arcade thing. Crap, just crap. Whoever told me to go there? Oh,
the arcade.
Get coal in your stocking.
If I remember the arcade as a little kid, I remember that being good.
Yeah, probably. But they all have to wear masks in there, and we went with no real money because we're on bikes. We just got cards and phones, so we couldn't play anything. And I would have actually wanted to play. I did go in and have a look.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, let's play a game. Has anyone got any money? And we all just went, I've got buttons. Does it take buttons? I don't think they do. So yeah, and we walked to the end of the bloody thing. And nothing. Just nothing. There's a hill. And people send me pictures from the top of the hill. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm like, I'm not going somewhere for a hill. I've been over many hills on the bike to get here. What I want is somewhere nice to sit down and get some decent food. What I don't want is some pissant fucking fish and soggy chips in a cardboard box squatting on the edge of some dirt sand on a wall.
I've missed your rants.
No!
I've missed them.
Next time, Abersock. That's where we're going.
Right.
Where the rich people go, and there's going to be nice shit.
We'll see.
There were tons of bikers there, though, as well. And that's what I couldn't fathom. Literally hundreds of bikes. And nothing. If you want to open up a cafe or something, beachfront Aberystwyth, you would make a fucking killing. People were queuing out the door of the fish and shitty chip shops just to get a box of crap. And I met a couple of guys there who came over who followed me. So I had a chat, and they got the fish and chips. So I got to inspect the fish and chips.
Yeah.
One thing I can tell you, don't get the small fish and chips. They diddle you on the small fish and chips. You get the large, nicely cooked. Still, the chips were shit, but the fish looked good. The small fishes, batter looked like, it's pale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Poor
did you?
quality.
You're like,
Poor
you pauper. Here's your shitty little medium fish and chips.
Yeah.
And the large ones, golden, cooked golden.
Yeah.
Like, there you go, fatty. Enjoy that. Or a pie was your other option. Who the fuck, after a big long ride, wants fish and chips or a fucking pie? I want a nice coffee.
Yeah.
And a tuna niçoise. I'm a modern day biker. It turns up on a classic, but wants some good grub.
I'm happy with fish and chips, I am.
No, I've never been a fan of it.
I can't remember last time.
Unless I'm in a restaurant and it's beer battered fish and chips with triple cooked chips.
Oh, mate, I'm so posh you are.
And a little bit of mushy peas. Didn't even have mushy peas! Just realised. I did. You know what we did do, though? As much as it sucks. There's a lovely little old person.
Yeah.
We pulled up on the... So there's a place you meant to go and park your bike, so we didn't know, because Aberystwyth is not somewhere I've ever been before, because otherwise I'm not going back.
If you hadn't noticed.
People are going to be mad at this, but I don't care. It sucks. So we pulled up to... We just went towards the sea, and we got there, and then we were like, well, where do we park? Because it was just cars everywhere. It was a bank holiday weekend. So we just pulled up on the actual walkie peary bit. Just three of us. And I was like, I'll do with motorbikes. No one's going to be bothered. Within 10 minutes, another 12 bikes parked where we parked, like you were allowed.
Yeah.
we were like, by the way, guys, we don't know if you're allowed to park here.
Yeah.
We just did it. And then everyone
was like...
Nobody said anything. Nobody cared. But then if you walked 5 minutes like down the way, there's literally a dedicated chained off parking area where all the bikes park. Right. And there were just tons of bikes. And it was cool seeing all the bikes.
Yeah.
That was quite nice. But where we parked, there was other cars parked there. And in one of these big black cars was this little old fella and his missus just sat in the back, and their son was taking him out for the day. Mm. And he sat there and he's just looking at us through with his window down at the bikes all pulling up. And we turned around and we went, and we looked at him, you're all right? He went, a big thumbs up. He's like, aye. He said, when you lot go, I'm going to hop on one of those and go off on an adventure. we went, you have a go, buddy, like that. This side. And then as we were walking, like, deciding when to go, he goes, if you want to go, I'll watch him. He's just in the back of the car, like, I'll watch him, don't worry, you can leave your helmets with it. Yeah, and then just a lovely little old man. Oh. And then his wife came back with their son on a like walker thing. We got in the car and we got talking to the son. Lovely bloke, offered to like keep our helmets in his boot just after a 5-minute chat. Just a nice guy. Like, either that was trying to steal our helmets, but I'm going
to how much they were.
Yeah. They
keep them in the boot. They're good. Everyone,
yeah, just get your helmets in the boot, lads.
And then he just like peels out
eBay. And but anyway, we didn't put them in the boots. We locked them onto the bikes. But yeah, we did come back and he was still there. And I got talking to old man again. Turns out this fella who was taking his old mum and dad out. Oh, and the dude he looked like he was right in his late 80s. It was like my dad passed away about 4 years ago. We're like, how the fucking hell old? We were trying to work out how old his dad must have been.
Yeah.
Could have been in his hundreds.
Yeah.
It's pretty savage. Anyway, we found out the son who'd taken him out had had cancer 3 times, been cut from like top to tip.
Yeah.
Right down, had chunks of his bowel removed, liver, all sorts done. You'd never know. Never know. You just don't know. And that's what you don't. And this was the most pleasant man, just chatting, never mentioned it. And then his dad said it all. And he was just like, he's battling, and he's beat it 3 times. Beat it, it's come back 3 times. Okay, yeah, he's still going. Because I was saying to him, because his son's taking him out, it's a nice car. Because I said something about, we'll talk about the next life. And he said, I'm too old to ride those. I went, don't worry. In the next life, you have another bash. I said, we all get more than one go on the roundabout. And he was like, you think so? I said, I definitely know so. And then he said his dad had died. And then I said, anyway, it looks like you've raised a good one. And he said, he's had his problems like that. And then the cancer thing came out.
Fuck.
Oh, lovely bloke. All that shit going on. Still gets his mum and dad out to the beach, to the pier. Admittedly, only to Aberystwyth. Couldn't be asked to go up the coast to Abersock.
Old people like Aberystwyth. Old people.
No, I know. But it's just that. It was a lovely part of my day.
Yeah,
I really like that little old man. And then when we went off, he did a proper like happy wave, seeing us off.
I bet that was like the most eventful thing that he's had for a bit.
That's it, man. If you have older people, just talk to them. That's all they need. It cheers their day up. And you don't need it for long, an hour.
Yeah.
And the day's made.
Yeah.
They'll nap for the rest of it.
Can't wait to be old.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was a good day. Had a nice chat. Off for a 12-hour nap.
Got to get my rest in before I go to sleep tonight.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Packed it was, though. Really packed.
Well,
Got
cool.
some nice pictures there. It's a nice looking place. I just didn't like the fact there was nothing to do when you got there. I wanted to sit and enjoy it, and you just couldn't. I felt like you couldn't because there was just nothing. And I didn't want to sit in a pier by the arcade. I wanted to see the sea, hear the seagulls and the ocean. And you couldn't do that without sitting on the edge of this bloody wall, watching some beached blob roll around in the sand dirt.
In the dirt.
Yeah. Some people were invested in that dirt beach, man. They brought with them wind tents. Like they were committed to going to the dirt beaches.
Was the weather decent?
Oh, yeah, it was beaming sunshine, 20 plus degrees.
What day was that?
Sunday.
Yeah, there was one decent day, weren't there?
Yeah, the Sunday.
Apparently the weather's going to pick up again.
Aren't we supposed to get this heat wavy thing?
Yeah. It keeps this fucking heat wave. They've been fucking stringing us on here.
They do this every year.
It's been waiting for about 3 or 4 weeks. They're like, next week it's coming.
The heat wave lie has been a British summer for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
The heat wave's coming.
Yeah.
When it comes, it's going to scorch us all.
Yeah. It's going to be like that scene in Terminator 2. The nukes go off. We're just going to be there getting
It's on the railings
to the bone. The heat wave's here.
Jesus.
Should we have the run, mate?
Oh, fuck yes, let's do that.
What are we on for time?
Here we go.
We good?
We're at 27 minutes. Well, we actually can see it. We're bang on 27 minutes. True. Just pause, stop, and start again now.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like we deserve. We owe a bit of a longer one today.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Will the card handle it?
Yeah. It's 128 giggers.
Mm.
Pick the big boy cards. Some investing in us. Right. I'm gonna stop and start. And it's as simple as that, folks. Skabooshies. Right. Let's do the reveal of the chesticles.
This is going to knock your phone.
No? I might do it. Go on. It is the final.
The final
Bottle.
Grog.
Also, we've changed the lyrics to a well-known song. So next time you hear, I want to rock, what you have to sing is, I want some cock.
Yep.
Yeah, get that stuck in your head, people. Because we have. And
Yeah.
you need to pass it on.
Yeah. So we've got Pirate
Stop
Grog.
doing that weird breathing thing. You notice to do this?
No.
I'll say something emphatic and then go like a freaking bulldog. When they're in the sun and that's me breathing now. I don't know when I started doing this. Yeah. I need like a little one of those zesty lemon squirters with water in it to spray into my palate on a hot day. I'm terrible. Well, why I picked up these weird mannerisms from? I caught myself doing T-Rex arm the other day, listening to someone. What's that about? Like, because I've been gesturing with my hands, then I went to relax, and only my right one went back down my side. The other one stayed out like that, like a little T-Rex arm with a limp wrist. As I concentrated with this face to what they were talking about. So I look like I'm having a stroke with a T-Rex arm.
And then you went...
And then went, yeah, probably, then breathe it. It's like, I look like a zombie. Anyway, so I need to learn to breathe again. Don't know why.
Life skills.
Who knows?
Right, so, Pirate's Grog, honey, spiced rum.
It's the worst appetite. Pirate grog, honey, spice, rum, alcohol, mouth, put it.
Put it in your mouth hole.
That is a wicked advert. Imagine that. I'd love that. Pirate's grog, honey, spiced, mouth, put it in hole.
That's it.
And that's the advert.
Yeah.
I think that'd do really well.
And then the person ingests the entire bottle whole. They don't... They just go...
And then it just says drink responsibly.
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
Right, well, being as I'm shite, you can read the back.
Oh, okie dokie. Ah, it's got the stupid plastic lid on. So,
I'll
well,
knock your
if you've
phone.
not seen the Pirates Grogs thing, oh, it's alright, I got it. Shut the CREWCast crew chest. The crew chest. Okie dokie, we've got a honey spice, introducing the Tropical Horizons range from Pirates Grog, a fleet of exotic spiced rums venturing into a new world of flavour and exploration. This edition uses the finest, ethically sourced pure honey. Oh, that's good. Like that. From the Honeybee Man. Just the one. The one man.
There's only the one.
There's only the one.
The
If you know him, God, I bet he'd be a hard
Do you
person to
know
be
the
friend.
Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
Do you know the Honeybee Man?
And from the Honeybee Man, and infuses a wonderful array of spices with our award-winning. That is a mouth challenging sentence. A wonderful array of spices I can't do it. A wonderful array of spices with our award-winning 5-year aged golden rum. There
It's
we
a
go.
mouthful.
That is a heck of a sentence. And it does have a picture of a bee that's stinging a skull, and the skull's like, ow, on the bottom of it.
Yeah, with some
It's not happy about it.
No.
Crafted with 5 years, so this is with a 5-year aged rum that we had the other week.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
It was really nice.
Really nice.
I think this one. So this is definitely a
You
cheating.
think this is.
This is going to be super sweet, super like.
You think it's going to be super sweet? I don't.
You know.
No, I think they're going to let the rum be dominant.
Well, the spiced one we had last week, it wasn't like super sweet. It wasn't like a sickly sweet by any means, but it was very drinkable, wasn't it? It went down easy. There was no
Yeah, it was smooth.
no
Super
burn,
smooth.
no anything.
I was impressed with that.
Shall I drop your?
Yeah, let's put an ice cube in with it. Have you noticed the room's moved around as well?
I have, yeah.
So we've got more space. It's more space to evolve.
More room for activities.
More room, much more room for activities. Should I shake it? Because it's bitty.
Yeah.
Shake it or just tip it up and down?
I'll just give it a gentle, tilt.
Little
Yeah,
bit.
because it's the same as that the
Don't wanna
spice from
aerate
last
it
time.
too
There's
much,
a
do it.
little bit of like sediment.
Yeah,
and
it's like really organic looking. You can't see through it at all. Like it's full on cloudy.
yeah.
Super cloudy. Right, there we go. I'm happy with that. Let's do a cheeky pop. Oh, that's super cheeky. Dear.
Does it smell good?
That smells very easy to drink. Oh, you can't even really. It's so. Yeah, it's quite. You might be right. You might win this one. Yeah.
Let's have
You
a
hold
whiff.
Yeah.
Let's have a whiff.
That smells dangerous.
Ooh. Fuck, that's making me like salivate smelling
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, give me a couple. Do you want some more here?
No, you do.
You do you.
You do the glug test though. Is it a pour or a glugger? Oh, I like it. It's a glugger. Listen to the amount of glugs.
I'm fucking going in.
Oh, you are going in hard. Dude, you know I used a shot glass the other day to measure out a shot? Our home pulls are like triples.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought I was having like at worst, like maybe a shot and a half.
Yeah.
Maybe just over, bang on well over 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, looked at the shot when I poured it in like, is this shot glass broken?
Yeah. Is this a half a shot?
Yeah. There we go. Oh, yeah. Pour that over the ice. Oh, actually, yeah, that is a big amount. I forgot we've got bigger glasses.
Yeah, these
Oh,
glasses
yeah,
are
if you're not on
massive.
YouTube, we're drinking out of Starfish copper glasses. And before I get all the messages of where did I get them, Google. Just Google it. You can get it from those places. It's not specialised. They're just cool.
I don't want to wait.
Yeah, straight in.
Yeah, I
You
don't
don't need
want
to wait. It's just being there for nice afterwards. Oh, no. That does have a nice spice to sweet ratio. Mm-hmm. That is not overly sweet.
No. It still tastes like a rum.
You get a nice heat from it.
Yeah. It still tastes like a rum. I really like that.
It does. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's because
Oh, wow.
some of those ones that are very sweet, like, I'm thinking like lambs, they're almost like,
Too sweet after a while.
yeah. Whereas this, you could drink a good amount of that and not
Especially
get sick
once
of it.
that ice cube melts into it as well. That's going to take a lot of that sweet kick away and leave you a lot with the heat.
Ooh. You know what? I don't think Pirates Grog have missed a beat with anything that we've tried.
That is super smooth, man. That doesn't even create that heat. The only heat I get is over my tongue, and just a little hint of it at the back of my mouth. but my throat is completely heat free, and my chest heat free. It's just clever.
The honey flavour is that's what it is. It's the flavour of the honey. It's not necessarily the sweetness of the honey.
Yes, that's
it's hard
true.
to explain. Like
It's not
trying to
when you
separate.
smell a good rich honey.
Yeah,
like that.
they've
scent.
imparted the flavour.
Yeah.
Without being sweet, like you're drinking honey. It's really hard to explain that.
I guess what they've used is a really rich honey, so they don't need to put a lot in to get a kick of flavour.
Yeah.
So then you don't get all that sugar behind it.
Yeah.
Clever. Very good, Pirates Grog. Well done.
They are.
We have,
well,
however, had a bit of a on picking the winners.
Yes. Why don't we announce the winner at the end?
Yeah.
Because once the podcast's over, we can go through, sort it, and then we can just add in that little clip. The little clip at the end.
So listen to the end of the podcast, and we shall announce the winners of the Pirates Grog competition. And there is going to be 3 winners. We're picking 3 of you from our side.
Yep.
And 3 of you will win. Is it
2 bottles each?
2 bottles each?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
3
good,
people win 2 bottles each.
So 6 bottle giveaway from Pirates Grog. So we will pick those at the end. And if you wanted to join, you had to follow us on the CREWCast YouTube channel, subscribe there, and you had to comment on the post that I put up and Pirates Grog put up. And there were your 3 chances to win. You had some optional extras as well, like sharing it to your story and following the BCB Instagram page. So we'll be checking all those and we're picking a winner from each section.
Yeah, it's because it's a bit more convoluted. There's probably a little bit more time to pick a winner than last time when it was just one person made it a bit easier.
I'm glad we're able to do stuff like this. So yes, at the end, congratulations to whoever's names we say at the end. We'll be in contact with you to sort out getting that delivered. And I hope you enjoy it like we have.
Yes, honestly, I'm really surprised because when I saw the range that Pirates Grog did, I was like, there's going to be some hit and miss ones, or like I genuinely can say every single one of them, they've nailed it.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, there's not one. Even the liqueur, was good. Wasn't solely sweet.
Yep.
Now, there's only one of the bigger cigars left, and I'm not smoking it. I'm going to buy another pack of those because they come in 5s. Then we'll have 6, so it's an even number. You see, that's how thoughtful I am.
Yeah, well, it was a gift anyway, mate.
But you know.
Thank you very much. Because I always come around here smoking your cigars and eating your damn food. I do eat a lot of your food.
Dude, I did a £150 shop last week. My fridge is bare. I feed people that come around here. But it's nice to do that.
Yeah.
It's just, people come around, nice days out or whatever, and then you have a good feed when we get in. It's just, I like the fact I'm able to do that. I enjoy it. It's just a problem when I forget to reorder the food and then I can't have any food myself, which just happened the other week. That's nice. So I was smoking a couple of the miniatures. Which ones are these? Because they're very good. The Royal Dutch. These are the Royal Dutches. I like them. They're smooth. They're not too peppery.
We should be having some cigars in next week. Our contact has... we were hoping to get them this week, but they haven't arrived in time, so fingers crossed.
He sent them, though?
Yes, yeah, he's already sent them.
We appreciate that,
He got called away on some last minute
cigar business.
Yeah, it was some urgent.
Found a new leaf.
I think he was like, I'm sure he said they had to go to like head office in Switzerland or something like that. It sounded really cool.
That sounds like a really hard job.
Yeah.
Oh, darn. Got to jet off to Switzerland, one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Actually,
and taste cigars.
Thinking about it, he messaged about trying to meet up because he was in Stourbridge, where my gym is. In a few weeks' time, I'll have to double check that date and we can see if we can sort that, because that would be cool.
It is on the
Did we say that?
9th or 10th of this month, and I am filming with Gymshark on the same day. So it'll be timed around that.
Okay. Well, Gymshark ain't too far away. We're
No, it's close. That's what I mean.
25 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that might work. So yeah, we're gonna get some more knowledge about the cigars because that's something that we've started, and we don't know shit, but we want to know shit.
Yeah, I'd like to learn more. Also, I like the fact that I am an absolute novice and I can enjoy this like stuff that most people probably frown on. I'm not going to lose that. I'm still going to enjoy like these little things that started me off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless because I don't think you can get a palate change from a cigar, can you? They're either like shit and crap when you start, or maybe you can though. Maybe
I imagine things just get more refined. You just like, I don't know. You're not gonna not appreciate a shepherd's pie just because you eat some well refined kind of, I don't know.
I did.
Yeah.
I took my mother to the Ivy in Manchester, and I had a grouse beef and lamb shepherd's pie.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Okay.
Dude, it's the most pretty shepherd's pie I've ever seen.
Really? Didn't want to eat it because it was too pretty.
Yeah, I took my mum out and Mark, and it was decided to treat everybody to a really nice meal out, just say thank you for stuff, you know. Well, take my mum out, cheer up, because she had a bit of bad news with she had a cyst on her fallopian tube, which is quite, common. We're okay with that, but then they found a lesion as well. So Mama Bear had all the scans done, and immediately we got her in and just went private when I'm all done. Luckily, it's come back. Bloods were clear. But you know that 2 weeks where you're waiting?
Yes.
Jesus.
Really stressful,
And you don't realise because you're just being really positive. But then when she said, we got the results back, and it was like, so there's no sign in the bloods of anything, malevolent. I was literally on the phone, and I don't know if you heard, I literally went, oh, and I literally felt my shoulders drop.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I didn't realise I'd been subconsciously tense about it the whole way.
Yeah.
So that was a relief. But, so they said, at the time when I took her out, they said that we're going to have keyhole surgery, take the fallopian tube, nice easy one. It's just a debate as to whether to take one or two.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a big thing for a woman to go through.
Mm-hmm.
But to my mum, was like, Mum, they've done a job. You don't know, they're like a freaking gallbladder to you now.
Yeah.
It's an appendix.
She's not planning on having any
appendix,
kids,
isn't it?
is she?
Like an appendix.
Yeah.
We don't have a gallbladder, do we? Oh, God, my brain's dead.
I don't fucking know.
Fucking idiot. Yes, of course you do. Anyway, God, my brain is fucked. Yeah, do we have a head? Do we still do heads? Is this a thing?
Humans have brains, right?
We have. Are we a chip? What is this? The Matrix? Anyway, yes. So great. Cheer up. She's all good. But then this week they've had the specialists have all come back and said she's got to have a hysterectomy. 6 weeks downtime.
Shit.
That's a big
It's a big operation.
My mum, loves working. She's a celebrant. She does like weddings, funerals, and all that. She's really fucking good at it. Dude, when I go, I want someone like my mum taking care of the fucking service for people. Yeah. She makes it beautiful. Really gets it about the fucking person.
Yeah.
Not some biblical nonsense, nothing to do with them. All about them. Lovely stories, little things. Gets the, people, remembering nice things, having a chuckle, getting, the way to be. She's going to be out she's busy working every week. She's going to be out for like 6 weeks. Not allowed to do shit. And they're like adamant with her as well. She's like, can I just no.
It's a big op, that is, isn't it? There's it's a...
Yeah. But I'm just happy that the specialist team have gone away and come back and been like, listen, we could just do this keyhole. We could do that. But there's chances are then you might have to come back if you find something else later down the line. And you have more surgeries, and more surgeries just putting you under unnecessary kind of risk. When we do believe there's a chance that it could, why take the chance?
Yeah, it's just nipping it in the bud.
Yeah,
nothing then to worry about.
Yes, the downtime's longer, but it's a common procedure done by people who specialise in it, and there's huge teams and who just do it relentlessly and do fucking good jobs at it. And the guy who took her all the way through the private that we did is the same guy that we're doing the operation.
Yeah. The thing is, I suppose, it's safer, and although there might be longer downtime, if something did crop up later down the line, if you add up the downtime from multiple surgeries...
And the worry and the stress.
Yeah, you don't, like you said, you didn't realise how anxious you were and holding that tension, and obviously it would have been exactly the same for your mom. So you don't want to have to deal with that again. So just the peace of mind is worth it for that, isn't it?
Just don't want her worrying. That's all it is. I'm just...
I'm really... Well, I know it's like a shitty thing, but it's really good that that's going to get sorted and it'll be wrapped up and resolved.
Dude. And they couldn't have found it. Like, she had her bloods done in April and it all came back fine. And she had this pain. Then they found a lesion in the cyst and whatnot. So, and then they did bloods. Obviously, we had bloods done again immediately. But because she'd had the bloods done anyway as a general kind of thing early in April, there was no markers for anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, Mum, even if there is anything, you literally couldn't have caught it any sooner. Like, it was so fast. And there's still, thank you, universe, no markers. So they are confident it's benign, but also confident that it's, even so, it's worth getting it out and done, because it could lead to other cells that mutate in the same area that could not be benign.
Yes.
And that's the point. And I said to my mum, I said, that's fucking great. If they've gone from a keyhole to a major surgery, that's not a small decision. They've made that with your best interest in mind, not their best interest in timetables.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, that's, I feel quite good about that. But also, no, anyone who is dealing with my mother's surgery, if you fuck anything up, I will hunt you down and gut you like a fish.
Yeah.
I mean that. I will use the same implements upon yourselves.
I have a feeling that anyone who's a surgeon probably doesn't listen to us.
No, but filter it. Pass on. If you know a surgeon, just pass on a random message. Just so you know, if you ever come across a griffin on your operation list, take fucking care. Take your watch off. Don't leave it in there. Do a good fucking job. Because I have time on my hands. And I can buy night vision goggles. Oh, I went to Bath to go there. I had a ride. Went down to Bath, vintage store shopping.
I love Bath.
On a run.
One of my favourite places.
Dude, it's beautiful.
It's stunning, isn't
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it's a vintage store. I went in there. The little old lady who was running it was part of the store. She was literally like...
I saw, actually,
yeah,
yes.
you see the picture?
I saw the picture.
Spot the human.
Yes.
Got hard, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was part of her, and then there was more above, but then it wasn't.
No. She's just there, like part of it. She's literally wearing what you're rooting through, and so she looks like one of the piles.
If anyone's seen... Have you seen Dark Crystal?
Where's that lighter gone?
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Oh, yeah. Dark Crystal. Is that the one with the puppets?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you
Dude,
remember?
do you know they remade it?
They didn't remake it. It's on Netflix as a series, and it's the prequel to the film.
It's not done well.
No, I watched it. It wasn't that entertaining. To be fair, they use the same puppet, so visually it looks the same as Dark Crystal, pretty much. But it's a prequel to the movie, and it's
I tried
basically
to watch it. Couldn't get into it.
Yeah, same. I tried because I love the Dark Crystal. I watched that as a kid. Like it's old as shit. But I used to like all those kind of like weird dark. It's like kind of children's stuff, but it's still really messed up and dark.
It's like Labyrinth, isn't it?
Yes, I fucking
Pretty
love
much
Labyrinth.
similar level as that. But yeah, wow, amazing vintage store. I got, check this out, a sleeveless Levi shirt, tenner, I think.
What?
Leather waistcoat, which I haven't shown you yet. Leather waistcoat to go over my jacket for when I'm on like the choppers.
Yeah.
So I'll get like a normal jacket, able to throw the leather waistcoat over the top, whatever, and just make it look awesome. And it's got all these like pockets on with gold zips. 15 quid. Because it had a damaged zip.
Yeah.
Meant to be 50 quid or something. And then I got a Austin Reed hunter's waistcoat. Hunting waistcoat. Like this beige thing with like pearl looking buttons.
Yeah.
Dude, it's sick. And it cost me 15 quid.
Fuck, man.
I spent like 50 quid and got 4. I can't remember what else I got. I got bits.
Yeah.
Sick. Such a cool place. I really want to go back. Because I didn't really know that was there.
Yeah.
So I was on the bike. So I didn't have a lot of stuff to be able to pack in. The next time I'm going back in a car with an empty suitcase.
Yeah. I love Bath. Bath's beautiful. To be fair, it's been a few years since I've been there. Obviously, when I used to travel a lot with work, that was always one of my favourite places to go. And it was so... You can take a photo of like any street in Bath and know that it's in Bath because it's just so distinctive.
Very well kept.
Yes, yeah, really well kept. Even like all the pavements and stuff like that. Most of them, they're stone pavements. They're not tarmac.
That's true.
And like all the buildings again, they're is it limestone or sandstone? No, is it limestone?
It looks like sand. Sand blasted.
I think it's limestone.
All sandblasted, really clean. But yeah, I think you might be right because it's quite
like a yellowy, orangey, goldy kind of colour. Sandstone is more red.
Oh, okay, so it's limestone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's limestone. But yeah, really stunning. Like, I went to Oxford the other day. Oxford's fucking gorgeous as well. Really, really nice.
Yeah.
But Bath still has it for me. Because have you been to any of the baths in Bath?
No,
Like
but I saw it at the Roman bath that
baths.
was there.
Yeah.
No, but I did go to the fudge place.
I don't think
Oh,
I've
and here's a really
been.
cool thing. So there's a cathedral in the middle of Bath, isn't there? Off one of the squares.
Yep.
And the Roman bath is just across from it as well. It's in that one square.
Yes.
Well, there's a fudge shop there now, which I don't know if it's always been there, because it's my first time really going to Bath for God knows how long.
Yeah.
But it's the same fudge shop you find in York.
Right, okay.
It's like branched out. It's only in 6 places.
Right.
Check out the places it is. And I can't remember all 6, but just listen to the ones that it's in. So you got Bath, York,
Yeah.
Cambridge,
Mm.
it begins with W, where the Queen is, Windsor,
Oh, yeah.
Windsor,
Yeah.
Oxford,
Yeah.
and then one more really posh place.
Nice.
I was just like, you know your spots. They're like, yeah, basically, if there's anywhere with a cathedral in Lovely Square,
Yeah.
you'll find us. Because the one in York is gorgeous. Like, you walk down the cobbled street at the back of York, the proper bit of York, good bit. You walk to the end of the cobbled street, turn right, it's right there.
Yeah.
Down past the store that sells the knight's armour.
Mm.
Don't turn left to go to the cathedral, which if you just walk down the alleyway next to it, opens up to the huge cathedral. Same in Bath. You walk around a corner and it just goes, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Well, there's another bit, so that square, the front of that cathedral, on the front of it, if you look up, and you can look this up online, you can Google Bath Cathedral, and there's ladders going up the sides, like carved into the stone, and there's angels on the ladders up and down. Now, did you know this? The left-hand side is synonymous with the devil,
Right.
which is why lefties are all evil.
They are.
I reckon at some point lefties were definitely actually seen as evil. Like, someone probably believed that. But anyway, left side is most synonymous, word of the day, with the devil.
Yeah.
And the right side, nice stuff. And so the ladder on the left-hand side, if you look closely, the rungs of the ladder are ever so slightly wider apart. Because it's meant to be a longer journey down to hell. Like it's a harder trial. Rather than the ladder going to heaven, with the shorter runs, it's easy to get to.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on the front of it, by the doors, I think there's 2... So there's all carves in all these stones, like all the are made with obviously the whatever stone the cathedral's made out of. Everything's carved into the stone in 3D. It's fucking beautiful. I just stood staring at it, and I put it on my stories like numerous times. Like, why the fuck don't we make anything like this anymore?
I know.
It's stunning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how they made it back then? We don't even make shit like that now.
The thing is, though, cathedrals then, they took on a job knowing that it was going to take more than a person's lifetime to complete.
Dude, the one in Murcia in Spain.
Yeah.
It's literally decades of work.
Yeah. Whereas now, like, if it's not going to be knocked out in
Decades,
3
centuries.
years,
Decade? Century? Decade? Which is the 100?
a decade is
I'm tired
100
brain
years.
dude. It's decades, isn't
Hold
it?
on, no.
Century feels like...
I'm fucking, no.
Because we're in the 21st and 20th century.
Yeah. A decade is 10 years, isn't it? And a century is 100,
Yeah, that's right.
I think.
Oh my God, we're tired.
I've been up since 5, leave me alone.
Yeah. I got to Manchester last night at midnight and was up at 7 after having a full day as well. Actually,
We're both really tired.
really tired. But we need to work that out. I'm pretty sure centuries 100 and decades is tens.
Well,
So
they know what we
the
mean.
Mercia one is literally, you can walk around and see the different centuries as you walk around it, because obviously the way in which they built things changed. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, back to the one in Bath.
Can I just interject slightly? If anyone is interested in cathedral building or anything like that, there's a fucking awesome book called Pillars of the Earth. You can listen to it on Audible. It's about 60 hours on Audible because it's fucking huge, and it's Ken Follett
That's a
is
commitment
the
to cathedrals.
Ken Follett's the author. Really, really interesting. You literally follow like two people's entire lifetimes, like the main character. And then he like lives his entire life. Then his son, who's a child, who then grows up and then lives his entire life, and that's your like. And it's the building of a cathedral. And then there's a second one, World's End. I think there's actually a third one that's coming out as well. But anyway, great books,
Pillars of the Earth.
really interesting stories, but there's loads of detail about architecture and building, which is kind of what piqued my interest because I enjoy that kind of side of things as well. So it's a nice like fictional read, but really just a fun...
It's a fictional book.
Yeah, it's a fictional book. It talks about things that were real, but also things that weren't, and
So there's a full story behind it and the character building and everything.
yeah.
Alright, okay.
Yeah. But it is really, really good. And like in terms of getting invested in something, like 60 hours of an audiobook is insane. And yeah, so I would never be able to tackle that as a physical book personally. Like, I was listening to it for months.
That must look, yeah, I was gonna say, that must look like that. What's that one that everyone...
The Bible.
No, bigger than the Bible. And
The
everyone...
dictionary.
No, and everyone's like... everyone tries to read it, gets like page 2 and they're bored. And it's a running joke. It's a big-ass, thick-ass book. I can't think of it. I'll think of it in a bit. Anyway, so the Cathedral in Bath, this is, I learned from the... Bearing in mind, so this is why, right, I get talking to people. Because in the fudge shop, the dude in the fudge shop taught me this.
Mm.
The front of the cathedral, carved either side of the door, are two, now I'm assuming, like, at the time, saints.
Yeah.
Either side of the door. One of the saints appears to be shorter than the other. He's actually not. What happened is, if you Google it, so Google the Cathedral in Bath, they had obviously archers and things around the city at the time, and there were archery practice was going on for the army at the time, the soldiers. One of them misfired and smashed it into the head of the saint on the left-hand side of the door and took his head clean off. Rather than rebuilding his head, because obviously in that time both the saints had beards. Mm. What they did was they just recarved his face into the bearded area and gave him a shorter beard. So you got Stumpy on the left, who's basically looks, like that. Looks like, yeah, I'm a gnome head. And then the other guy on the right is like, I am lengthy and normal.
That's like have a neck.
Yeah, lovely little thing. And I learned that from the people that work in the fudge shop, because the people in the fudge shop are like, they're not workers. They're people who... Yeah. Oh, I think I've got some left. Yeah, they're people.
Fucking get it down,
Sorry,
you
mate,
pal.
talking too much. But this is what I love about it. I went in the shop and you get talking to them. They're literally people who love fucking making fudge, and they make it in front of you as well. They have it on a big marble slab, and they work it in front of you and knead it until it hardens. Well, not gets stiffer and stiffer, and then you can watch them do it. So as they knead,
work it until it
if
gets
they
stiffer.
knead their meaty fudge until it stiffens, and whilst one of them's kneading it, I'm going to pause and stop here. Cliffhanger.
What's going to happen to the fudge?
Right, once one's kneading it, in front of them they've got these two heated cauldrons. The other dude is like stirring up the next batch of fudge that's going on the table. It's fucking cool, man. And you can sit watching, and then they'll give you tasters of any fudge you want and of the one they've just made. So you get this like fresh, super gooey fudge straight off the slab.
Wow.
And they're the type of people, I always think of them as being like young Indiana Joneses. They're the type of guys that walk around wearing those type of hats and are genuinely interested on going on a hike.
Yeah.
You know, they're those, and they all speak really well, and you know that they're like not from money, but still just well brought up.
Yeah.
They're that kind of people. And they're just really happy and jovial and to talk. And this guy like came out of the shop with me to show me these features on the cathedral, because I just said how nice it looked, and he went, "Here's a story for you," and then took it out of the shop and watched it. I was like, "This is fucking awesome."
That's
cool.
sick. That's very cool.
Yeah.
When me and Emma went around Oxford a few weeks ago, it was very similar. We kept like bumping into random people that were in shops, and they were just so passionate about Oxford and the history. And yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I feel in Stourbridge, we've got some history, but no one's passionate about it. And I suppose like,
Do you have anything that's worth being passionate about though? Are there like landmarks?
Yeah, there's some landmarks. So what's in the flag, and it's in our BCB logo, is the glass cones, because we were known, like in the past, basically we were known for blowing glass. Yeah, the two things were like, we were the best place in the country for blowing glass, and also we made the chain for the Titanic. Because
really?
Yeah, in Stourbridge, because they're like ironworks.
May not be a good calling card.
It was either the chain or the anchor, or both, maybe. Because again, in the Black Country logo, the
two of the things that helped it sink.
well, they fucking did crash into an iceberg. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's the main things that Stourbridge, I suppose, is well known for. There's like, I think, the actual hotel at the back of our gym is meant to be one of the most haunted places in the UK as well.
Really? Mm-hmm. Creepy.
Yeah.
It's a creepy place.
It is.
When you look at it like that.
Yeah.
I can believe that now. It's also very creaky and old.
Yeah, it's ancient. It was. I think that they need to spend, if they could spend like probably 200 grand
I'd
on
say
it.
more. That's £500,000.
Yeah,
that is.
they need to do a good amount. It could be fucking stunning, because it's
if
a
they
beautiful
got an
like,
investor to do that, dude,
Tudor
that would
building
rip
and-
money.
Yeah, It's stunning, but that's not where it is.
Nah, it's cheap as chips, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
£10 mattresses.
Yeah, literally, and it's fucking 30 quid a night, something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Christ.
25, 30 quid a night.
You're not getting a good night's sleep there, are you?
No.
Jesus.
Well, especially not with us. We're blasting fucking metal music right behind you. You know what? They never complain. They're good as gold. They're really lovely, and they're like it's rough, but
yeah, sometimes it's quite nice that the people are like rough and ready.
Yeah,
salt to the earth.
Are we? Are you okay if we take a little bit of a turn with our podcast here, mate?
What, are you coming out again? One day it'll happen.
No, so it's something that's gone on this week. I want to I suppose, wrap up. Is it wrapping up? I don't know. So, a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned about a friend of mine who passed away.
Oh, yes.
I had his funeral on Wednesday. I'm not going to say his name or anything like that. I don't want to, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't need to, do you?
Yeah, I don't need to say anything. Anyone who knows me knows who he is.
Yeah.
And I suppose, just out of respect for his family and whatever else. And obviously, I spoke about how, obviously, when you lose a friend, well, if you lose anybody who you're close to, it's a horrible thing that kind of happens. And I think, obviously, I spoke about me trying to get back on track and make sure, I was kind of not getting too derailed from it. And one of the things that I spoke about doing was kind of using these physical things that I implement to make sure that I'm more productive and this, that, and the other. And what I've actually realised after a few weeks has passed is that's only one part of the puzzle. That can kind of work, but it's still relatively superficial with what happened or how I handled the situation anyway. There needed to be a certain amount of time just to process and wrap my head around it anyway. No matter, I was doing these things and just not doing them very well, and still not been the most productive, and not been definitely affected my mood in general. And it's because there's been a bit of processing time, and I fucking hate being oh, woe is me, and I'm not.
No, but there's a normal. You grieve without even knowing it, don't you? Really?
Yeah,
sat.
And he wasn't my best friend. He wasn't the closest person to me ever. And he had he's got a mom. He's got 2 twin sisters. Best friend. He knew so many people. He was one of those people that you walk around town with, and every fucking 2 minutes they're just oh, you're right, mate. You're right. He spoke to so many people, and there was a massive turnout at his funeral. And as well, he's 29. He's fucking 2 weeks older than me.
Baby. Yeah,
literally. So and there's something weird and unsettling about somebody that young that you're close to going as well. I've lost older people, and that's really that's easier to accept.
Well, it's just
because that's kind of normal,
not expected, but also kind of.
Yeah, it's way easier, or for me anyway, it was way easier to process because people that are older, they've lived their life, and they're even if somebody dying at 50 or 60, which is still pretty young, it's still they've done so much. You know what I mean?
It's usually more sad because they've left kids at a very certain developmental age when they die in the 50s and 60s. You've got kids who are 8, almost not quite adult yet in that, and it's a big time to lose a parent. You feel almost more sorry for them with it going on, don't you, than you do yourself.
Yeah, and there's something that was really unsettling, I suppose, about somebody who's literally I always considered him very similar to me as well. We had similar outlooks, and also he was a very ambitious person. Big personality, very he was charismatic in a group. He didn't give a shit what other people thought as well, and he'd always kind of try to do his own thing, whether people thought that was realistic or not. And so I identified with him on a lot of things, and although I'm fairly confident in most things that I do and don't let other people bother me, but I always found him when we were just chatting, it was comforting for me to have his opinion, and especially when they lined up, and it had just I rated his opinion highly, basically. That's the long and short of it. And then somebody who effectively, in my mind, I didn't realise I was doing this at the time until afterwards, and I think this is probably one of the reasons why it's maybe had more of an effect, is because I saw a mirror image of me.
Saw yourself in him a little bit.
Just
like,
an alternate.
You could have gone his way, maybe, if you'd have made different choices.
Yeah, very similar personality and very similar things going on. But yeah, just different. And then somebody who's such a big personality, somebody who's also physically strong and imposing.
He's a strong lad, wasn't he?
Yeah, like he literally hadn't trained for like over 6 months, turned up to a powerlifting meet that we were holding at the gym just because he wanted to, and then still pulled the heaviest deadlift. I'm sure he pulled like 280 kilos with no training. Like he was close on pulling 350 kilos, no belt, no nothing. Like literally,
Savage.
he was just fucking brutally strong. And anyway, so like I think I was thinking very practically about the situation. I was like,
Did it make you think about your own mortality a lot? Is that what it was?
I think that's like I didn't realise it at first, but
Yeah.
it's taken me, I think actually since his funeral on Wednesday, that's helped like process the
Bookended it a little bit.
Yeah, like it's 100% not the end. I'm not going to ever forget
I don't
him.
think there's ever an end to it.
But like, I was feeling, and again, it's kind of more apparent now after the fact. I was feeling guilty for being happy
In your own life.
Yeah, so like if something had happened, I was like, oh, I can't be happy because he's dead.
Yeah.
And especially if something, especially around anything to do with the gym, anything to do with my training or other people's, I'd always be talking to him because he was super knowledgeable about training.
Yeah.
And he was always the first, but he like his phone and my phone have got like hundreds of videos of me training, and he sends me videos of his training. And so that's always what we like. That was always what we were talking about. And whenever anything would go on, I'd send him something and I'd ask him, or if I'd done something that I was like proud of, send it to him, and he'd always be really supportive because he was not just happy for, he wasn't like, he was very supportive of other people, and he always saw people's potential. And yeah, so I think I was trying to deal with everything really practically and just like, okay, he's passed away. I'm not going to let that affect me because I know he wouldn't want that to have a negative impact on my life. And I'm going to just do these things to implement it, to make sure that I'm still effective and living my life as I should. But it didn't work. It didn't work. And it's because I ignored the actual emotional side of things, and the fact that, again, until recently, the only other thing that I've had that's very similar to, my friend passing away was when, so this was a good few years ago, my dad, and me and my dad don't particularly have a good relationship. I haven't spoken to him in a couple of years, and I've probably only seen him 5 or 6 times in maybe the last 8 or 9 years. I was working away in Scotland with my old job, and I got a phone call from my auntie saying, your dad's really ill, you need to go and see him. Long story short, there was something really wrong with him. They didn't actually figure it out. He was, it was a very severe fever, and something was fucking him up basically, and they induced a coma, because that was what needed to happen to try and conserve energy. Basically, he went from about 8,
I remember saying dropped.
Yeah, I can't remember, 16, 17 stone, something like that.
Big boy.
To like, bearing in mind, he'd been training his entire life. He was, as soon as he left, he was always into sports when he was at school. Then he went into the army and always trained, did MMA, boxing, and then stayed in the gym his entire life. And he had me, like, my mum and him had me when I was 18, so he's not like an old guy. I don't know what his age is exactly. I'm shit with stuff like that. So yeah, he wasn't old and was still training as normal, still very strong, and went from like 16 stone or 17 stone of muscle, and to I'm sure it was about 10 stone in weeks, because he was like, fever was like burning through. So anyway, told me to go and visit him, which I kind of like passed off at the start because I didn't want to. And then he came back out of the coma because they wanted to see where he was at. And anyway, I went in and visited him, and he was in like a delirious kind of fever state. And then seeing him, so brief backstory, not going to touch on it too much. He was very imposing, quite an aggressive guy. And he was always the alpha male of the group. He was always the person.
You saw him as the big alpha guy, the domineering force.
Yeah, and that was, and obviously that was for me as a kid, and he was my dad. But even in all social groups, he was always the guy who took charge. He had his own business. He was a big, strong guy who could handle himself. He took charge of pretty much every situation he was in. Mm-hmm. So I always saw him as somebody very intimidating, very scary. And then to see him like malnourished and also with the fever, like he delirious. He was like seeing things. He was, and this isn't the PC thing, but he was affected. Like he came across as retarded. Like he was having, He was not making any. He was like he was talking like he was a child, like a 7-year-old kid.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
And then seeing the person who I saw as at the time as a intimidating, scary person who was like the ultimate alpha male growing up, then reduced to
in a matter of weeks.
Like fucking nothing, literally nothing. Then going on, and this is, even though I didn't like him, obviously there's still some emotional connection.
And there's still the fact that you've seen this. I think where you're going with it is the fact you've seen this guy go in a matter of weeks from this big domineering bear, like fucking silverback, to just suddenly being taken by something uncontrollable.
Yeah, and I think that definitely had
sat with you. It sat with you, obviously.
I suppose on my own mortality, on my own, like, obviously a big part of, I suppose, just guys in general. You fight, I've fought in the past. We both lift weights. We want to do things to be a manly man to a certain extent. I'm not attached to being an alpha by any means.
No.
But also I do take pride in the fact that I have manual skills, that I'm strong, that I'm fit, that I'm healthy, that I can handle myself in a fight, that I am, I have a good level of mental fortitude. I am, in my opinion, and obviously this is completely subjective, a man and have masculine traits.
But we've said before, at no point do we feel like
we still feel like
we look at when you go, that's a bloke. We don't feel like we're one of them.
No, I know what you mean.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's strange. I think part of it is that we still aspire to get there.
Yeah, we'll never reach that.
No,
I don't think, unless we are given an axe and conquer some kind of land.
Yeah,
we will never feel that.
Unless fucking the UK goes to war and they bring up national service and we all get fucking,
and we go in and kick some shit, then maybe.
Yeah, but I think that just really played on my own mortality and all these things that I didn't even realise that I was doing, that were about being a man and being strong and all this other bollocks, and none of it means anything. None of it. It's all fleeting.
Do you know what it is?
No matter who you are, how big or strong, or all the things that you do, it can just go. Mm-hmm. And especially the thing that's gone more recently with my friend, all the ambition in the world can just be, for nothing, because he didn't achieve the thing that he set out. Like training wise, he never kind of did the things, because we used to speak about it a lot, and he had very specific goals. He wanted, he wanted to deadlift 350 kilos with no belt. There was some running goals that he had as well, because he wanted to be well rounded, and he ran well for a fucking big guy.
Yeah,
he ran.
He was obviously gifted.
Yeah. Oh mate, he was a freak.
But here's the thing you need to remember. So, I think to take from that is, things affect you on a subconscious level and you don't realise it. Seeing your father go from this big domineering guy to be taken by something uncontrollable and basically brought down to less than even an average man in a matter of weeks, sat with you about as a mortality thing. Seeing that something out of your control could just come in and take out, no matter how strong you get now, how big you get. It doesn't matter when nature gives no fucks. There's no rules with nature. There's no boundaries with nature. It rules all. It's like the ocean. You go out there and you surf waves and you swim and you come in, you think you're fine, but at any moment that motherfucker can snatch you.
Yeah.
And there's no choice in that. If you worry about that every day, if you worry about the things that are out of your control, you're going to pass up so many opportunities because you don't put yourself out there in the fact of worrying and trying to keep yourself safe from things you can't control. It's a thankless task that gives you no positive aspects. But what it can do is sit in your mind, and if you don't address it and then shut it off and close that thought, that's when it proliferates and sits there in the back of your mind without you knowing about it, and constantly makes you doubt certain things, because you've got this constant thing you think, well, what's the point of it? What's the point of it if this could all just be taken in a second for something I can't control? And because you're an intelligent guy, your thought process is so complex and there's so much going on in your life that these little afterthoughts are always there kicking around, and you don't have time to address them because you don't really notice them, because there's always something else that takes prevalent in that day. It takes the precedent, in the hierarchy of what needs to be done. So you don't get a chance to sit back. But this is where meditation comes in. Getting on meditation, we haven't been getting on meditation in. I know we haven't, because we've both been having these shitty ideas and thoughts. And when we meditate and we deal our thoughts and we deal with the way what's going on in our mind and silence that noise, we are always better human beings for it.
I literally got one bit of meditation in yesterday morning, I think it might have been. But that's the first time since my friend passed away. And
To interject, to make you feel a little better, there was a guy I used to work with called Trigger, and he was sounds like a similar kind of fella, 20 odd years old, just a big, thick fella, just fucking built like a gorilla, but with the head of a fucking boy band member.
Yeah.
And it's like, but just also a little bit just not book smart. He was just a nice fucking human, but he was a doorman. That's how I knew him. And, whenever he came out, he'd always make me smile just because of his demeanor. And I remember one time it kicked off in this bar we were both working in. And it was kicking off, and some guy's trying to smash another guy in the head with an ashtray, and I've run over and grabbed the guy who's trying to ashtray the other person. Big glass ashtray. So I was like, dickhead, you could kill someone with that. This isn't it. And then I look around, and I look at Trigger. I look around the door. He's just got his head poking around the door, looking at what's I was doing like a fucking cartoon, this big ape, this fucking ape body with a good looking head on. The guy who's in Umbrella Academy?
Yeah.
Fucking make him human.
Yeah.
That's Trigger.
Oh, fuck.
And he fucking heads around the door. He's looking at me. As I look at him, I went, Trigger, 12 step forward and grab. He goes, all right. And comes ploughing in. Just knocks him out. Just grips this fucker who the guy was trying to hit. Just fucking launches him out. He just needed but he just needed to be told. Actually, Trigger, I need a bit of help here. He was like, all right, no bother. Come in, fucking out. 20 odd years old, aspiring bodybuilder, doing powerlifting, stuff like that as well. And I just loved him. Little things like he would get out of the car, he'd come to say hello, he'd get all smiling, and then he got out of the car and started rolling backwards, so he forgot to put the handbrake on, and then he'd run and grab the fucking car, stop it rolling down the fucking hill, leaning in the window and put the handbrake on like, it was never a problem.
Yeah. I'll just stop the car.
That boy was taken out by a lorry, an articulated lorry, because he pulled out of a junction as it was coming the other way, and it totaled his car and him in it.
Fucking hell.
And to give you some sense of perspective, to me, my brain couldn't fathom how this specimen of a human was just wiped from our existence by a lorry. It really made me realize the mortality when we are pitched against something that we have no control over. And it fucked with me for a few weeks. And I carried that boy's coffin into the funeral. Me and some of the other door lads, we all lit it. And when I picked that coffin up, one of the things is, as we all looked at it and we all thought, we were like, how does he fit in this coffin? It didn't look big enough to hold him.
Yeah.
It didn't look big enough. And that's bringing tears to my eyes now. Yeah, he's gone so soon. He was such a good boy. Yeah, and I remember for a few weeks, man, I was just like, fuck. I couldn't, even a fucking lorry hitting him, I remember thinking, that wouldn't stop Trigger. And it fucking did, man. It took him.
I think that's it, isn't it? There's
dude.
You like You feel like some people are too big to
Just-
not just physically, but they're just too much of a
It was
person.
everything. It was the fact he didn't deserve it. He was such a good lad. There was not a bad... The reason he didn't run in when that fight kicked off, because he didn't have a bad bone in his body. He didn't ever want to cause harm to anybody. And he could... We all looked at him and were like, if Trigger ever knew what he was capable of, he would be the most dangerous motherfucker on the street. But he never had it in him. Beautiful soul. Taken by a fucking articulated lorry in a fucking Fiat goddamn Punto or whatever the fuck it was, you know? I just remember feeling like my brain couldn't wrap it. I couldn't wrap my head around how such a guy like that was just ended, and it messed with me for a week because I thought it was out of control. It's out of control. How are you supposed to control anything when you can just be gone like that? And then but then the funeral, carrying the coffin in and doing all that, I felt privileged to even be thought to be able to do that. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I remember he in the funeral he had Chasing Cars, his favourite song, played. Dude, whenever I hear that song now, I think of him.
Yeah.
Still. And it's got to be, 10 years ago or something like that? Yeah. But the thing is, the fact that what you were feeling is normal. Totally normal. And it should make you think about your fucking mortality. Because we aren't invincible. But fuck, also, make the most of the fucking time you got because you don't know how long you've got. So don't waste the fucking time. Holy shit, man, I need to hear this.
Yeah.
Because I have so much work on. Do you know what that means? More fucking procrastination.
Yeah.
I pissed myself off. That's just why I have moved all the rooms around. That's why my bedroom's now on this floor.
Yeah.
And I've made the upstairs. They're making the fucking upstairs into an office and a fucking workspace. If you are at home trying to do work and you're fucking mixing it into your living room, into your kitchen, you've got no set workspace, change it. Fucking change it. It doesn't work. No matter how much you sit there and think, yeah, I'm all right, I'm getting shit done. You're fucking not.
No, it's not.
Get yourself a room and a space that is dedicated to your work or your revision, wherever you're at in life. Wherever you need that space, create a dedicated space for the thing you need to get accomplished. Whether it be your meditations in the morning, whatever the fuck it is, create a space. Don't mix it in with separate your relaxation areas, your TV, your music, whatever, from your work areas. Separate them. Just like don't have a TV in your bedroom. If you've got a TV in your bedroom now, fucking take it out. If you want to be better and more productive, take the TV out of your room. Don't fucking watch Netflix on your phone in bed.
Yeah.
Don't have it there. Make your bed a space where you sleep. You put music on.
Dedicated areas.
You listen to Audible. Something like that.
I noticed you were listening to a book or something, weren't you?
Dude, yeah. So when you came in, I was going to talk about this because I wanted to talk about the trigger thing before I forgot. Trigger, I miss you if you're listening to the podcast in whatever ethereal realm that you're in or whatever new lovely little body that you have been put back into. Yeah, I was listening to, and I can't take credit for this. It's from a Joe Rogan podcast. It's Daniel something it's called, but if you just search, it's called Hardcore History, and it's the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, I've heard of the Hardcore History.
It's like a 6-part episode, so we're talking 12 hours, maybe 10 hours. But it's the full history of all the shit you don't learn. So it's this hardcore history is how he takes a look at things like Genghis Khan, Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great. Just look at all these people who are kind of heralded by many and shows you that they were basically just fucking conquerors who wanted loot.
Yeah.
And there's just byproducts of what they did that created better societies. But at no point did they actually really set out to create a new world. They just happened to do so. But I couldn't get over this fact. Genghis Khan killed 50 million people. 50 million people on fucking horseback. He killed 10% of the known world at the time. He killed so many people, he changed the carbon footprint of humanity.
God damn.
That motherfucker was a hell of a leader. He managed to unite an entirely Mongolian front to take over China. Dude's a fucking just insane. And he was born into poverty.
Yeah.
He killed his own brother at a young age because he stole fish from him.
Fucking hell.
Stole fish from him one too many times.
Yeah.
Him and his younger brother took some bows and arrows and kept the fish for themselves. And it just goes, the crazy thing is, this one human being is responsible for the death of tens of millions. Like, what would happen if that dude was never born? We wouldn't.
Completely.
1 in 500 people in China
Yeah.
is a direct descendant of Khan because they raped and pillaged. 1 in 500.
Yeah.
Do you know how insane that is?
Yeah. Completely, like, shit like that completely changes.
So that's why I thought I need to hear that side of the story. And I'm
Yeah.
literally on the first episode. I've done 2 hours in, and I'm all in. So what I want to do now is listen to that in bed. Get into bed by 10 o'clock. Listen to that rather than watch something at 10 o'clock like a freaking comedy show or a movie.
Set like a 30-minute or 40-minute like timer on there, so you can kind of just settle into it.
And then there's nothing to think.
It's the best thing because you can literally just lie in bed, eyes closed, so you can drift into sleep. But it's helping you visualize the audiobook, and that it just breaks that barrier from like being awake to being asleep.
I'm so good at getting sleep now. Listening to stuff, I'm so good. And I used to be terrible at it. I used to be lying in bed for 2 hours at a time trying to get to sleep. There's a thing on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, if you're not on Spotify, get on. Honestly, fucking God, pay for Spotify. It's the best thing you'll do. There's music every day to wake you up, to make you feel better. There's podcasts on there. Joe Rogan's on there. We're on there. Like, if you're not on Spotify, you are missing out on a huge positive thing you can put into your day.
Premium. YouTube Premium is fucking...
Yeah, I'm not on that, but you've advocated that.
I definitely... Because, basically, I actually do rate... The one thing that Spotify's now got that YouTube Premium hasn't got is they've got a lot more dedicated stuff that, like the podcasts.
They're also a really, really tolerant platform. So they will let you have more what's the word? Freedom of speech, I guess.
Yeah.
So 2 words. Freedom of speech. 3 words. Tired brain. You have freedom of speech on podcasts. They will not chastise you for having thoughts or talking about tough subjects. YouTube will. Let me just start the video. Stop and start. Yeah, telling you people no fucking blackouts. I'm on my shit. And I do like that about them. And it's becoming the biggest It is now the biggest podcast platform.
Oh, really?
Yep, it's overtaken everything since Joe's moved.
No, there's no surprise though. Yeah, Joe's got he's got some fucking heft behind him.
Number 1 podcast in the world. How insane is that?
What, like, is as well, the thing that's mad is, like, who is Joe Rogan in terms of, like, he stand-up comedian, like,
I think about
TV
anything.
show
I think
host.
about anything at heart, he's a stand-up comedian. He fucking loves comedy. Loves it.
And UFC commentator. Like, how's those, like, 3 not particular... Because, like, in terms of stand-up comedy, he was never mainstream.
No, never, no.
UFC. Now, yes,
But do you know what
pretty...
he was? He was like an influencer that got into Instagram like me and YouTube before it blew.
Yeah, he got there first.
And he is a mindset. He's got that one of those addictive mindsets where he gets set on something, he's all in. He's like fully addicted to it. He's like invested in whatever the new thing is that he's picking up.
I think, he's wears his heart on his sleeve. So when he feels something, he like lets that show.
That is a major point. Freedom to talk about anything on there, and he'll join in. He doesn't restrict.
Yeah,
I think we do well on that.
the fact that he asks.
I think that's inspired us a lot.
Every single guest, whether they've tried DMT, he pretty much. It could be, he could have the fucking Queen on there. It's like, have you ever tried DMT?
And he'd like get her onto it.
Yeah, and they're like, Jamie, pull that off.
Dude, I think Jamie's minted now.
Yeah,
How sick for that dude.
yeah,
Because I think Joe like full on sorts him out.
yeah.
That's
I hope he does.
Yeah. Well, Joe like apparently is really, really good like that. Like he makes sure everyone who's come up with him is, given what they deserve.
Everything I've seen of Joe Rogan, I don't think I might not agree with Joe Rogan on every single point, and that's fine. I'm not ever expecting to agree.
He's a human. You can't keep.
Yeah.
It's
Actually,
normal.
Side tangent. Somebody in the comments from not last week, the week before, said they really liked how the fact that me and you can completely disagree on a specific topic, but then both like listen and understand and be like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
like move
Move
on.
on.
Yeah, because you like that's it. I think
That's
people feel
life.
like they have to agree on everything.
No.
Like, it's fine.
You can't agree on everything with everyone because everyone has different opinions.
Yeah.
So it's impossible. It's
Yeah.
an impossible task that you'll never complete.
Yeah, and it's like just because you disagree on something doesn't mean that you can't be friends.
No. And do you know what I've learned as well is if I have an opinion, that's all well and good. Listen to the other person's opinion, and if it changes my opinion, I'll switch.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you give me valid points as to why I'm wrong, I'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't
Fair
know
enough.
that. Fair enough. Yeah, you're right. And I'll switch. But if you give me an opinion that is only an opinion against my opinion, I'm staying with mine.
Yeah, that's it. I think there's that unconscious bias. Like your brain doesn't want to be proven wrong, so it will be more resilient to someone opposing, your opinion.
Yeah.
And you have to really make a conscious effort to not just listen, but to really actually like process. Because some people do this, but they won't do it at the time. So you could tell me your opinion, and I could listen to it, and I'd disagree with you and carry on. And then like 2 days later, I'll be like, what Lex said made sense.
Yeah.
And then I might start changing my opinion. So to do that on the fly, that is quite hard. And like I've done it several times where like but I have had to be very self-aware of it, that someone's opposed what I thought, and they actually kind of proved me wrong. It wasn't like that black and white, but then they actually did start to make me think. I was like, okay, fair enough. And then when you open up to like the fact that yes, you're willing to change your opinion, the other person's demeanor can change as well, in terms of they're not arguing with you. It's a conversation, and it's not a what's the word, like a debate. It is just sharing ideas, and there's no defensiveness, because people sometimes they get attached to their ideas that they're correct.
Yeah, you get defensive about your idea.
Yeah, it's like I'm right and you're wrong.
Yeah. Planting a flag.
Yeah, and the thing is, everyone's got their own narrative. Everyone thinks they're the hero of their story. Everyone thinks that everything they do is...
But you haven't experienced everything that everyone else has experienced.
No, of course.
And they can experience something that completely changes your view on something. And you're like, well, that's cool. You know that, but here's something you haven't seen. And you're like, really? Like, yeah. You're like, oh, shit. And that's good, because then it makes you go and maybe research the subject or look into it a little bit more, look into it a little bit deeper. Maybe things have changed. And that's it's all an evolution. Nothing ever stays the same.
Yeah, it's just basically be open-minded.
Yeah.
Can I just conclude from what I was talking about earlier, just in terms of...
Oh, yeah. So,
the stuff
you
that
had
went on, obviously.
so we had the funeral on the Wednesday. That was your...
And it was really, really good talking to his mom and seeing his sisters and his partner, and that was nice to see them. And his mom teared up a little bit when we were talking. Completely normal. But I was going into it. I was like, I'm keeping my shit together. I ain't fucking...
Yeah, I was going to say, did you go?
So, because he knew some people at the gym, I was just like, I know it's probably not the right thing to do, but I was not really comfortable to cry in front of my staff. That was a bit of a weird situation for me, and I didn't realise as many other people...
The crying or being anything like that is a genuine emotion. It either comes or it doesn't.
I very rarely cry. I'm not like a teary person.
Unless you put on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and make me watch that ant die.
Yeah.
Bro, every time. Every fucking time. I'm like, dude, it's a fake ant. And my brain's like, I don't care, man.
It's so emotional.
Auntie saved those kids. Because my brain's a black guy. Auntie saved those kids, man. That ant was a hero. Every goddamn time.
Yeah, so I'm not like a teary person, but I was like, I didn't know how I was going to handle it, like being in that. It was a first for me in that kind of situation, and I was fine. Like, the hearse came up, they carried the coffin out, and we all went in, and you get your little book. Your booklet thing, I don't know what it's called.
I hate those. The service manual.
Yeah, but it had like a picture of him on the front and some words, and I was like, I flicked it over, and the photo on the back was a photo that I took of him when he was in the gym, and like that nearly.
That's good. They personalised it. They don't often do that,
That nearly got me, like, because that was the photo
you didn't let it get you a little bit.
it nearly, like, I just wasn't expecting it, because, like, I felt, like, because, especially seeing so many people, there's fucking hundreds of people that turned up. And
wow, dude.
yeah, and I was like, well, they booked a double slot for his funeral, because they knew that it was going to be a big turnout. And, like, there's so many people that knew him, and there was hundreds of people that I'd never met. Yeah. And, like, I was just a small part of his life. And they mentioned, like, his best friend mentioned Backcountry Barbell in the speech, because they knew how this was like another home for him, and he had a lot of friends there. And yeah, just like seeing the picture of him, he had like 105 kilo natural stone on his shoulder, while sipping from a Costa coffee, just like casually just chilling with a fucking 105 kilo stone on his shoulder. And yeah, just I still remember fucking the day when we got the photos, and yeah, just it's a great photo of him, and yeah, just seeing that was nice that you know, they chose that. And also seeing his mom, I haven't seen his mom for a while. I've only met his mom once or twice. You know, I helped him move house, you know, a few years back, and so obviously was this was still when he was living with his parents, so I briefly met them there. Yeah. And like, as soon as I saw her, she said, "Hello, Lewis," and she knew my name, and I was like, that's mad. And I, you know, spoke to his sister. Had an impact, didn't it? Yeah, and like his sisters were saying that you know, he used to speak of me and stuff like that. It's just nice to know that
you had an influence, positive influence on the guy.
Yeah, that as much as he had an influence on me, I had an influence on him, which was cool.
I think you see yourself in him, but what you also need to know is you are not destined for the same path, which is proven by where he was at the time this happened and where you are at the time this happened. And I think that's important for you to remember. That even though you see yourself in him, you're not that path.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, the thing that held me back over the last few weeks, when I've been like trying to be proactive and do all these things that on a superficial level, yes, that solves my problem, but the issue was deeper, and the issue was like, and it wasn't. I've been really, bit of a tangent, but I've been really tired, like
low energy, like low,
super low energy. Been
Dude,
really
I've been
sleeping.
the same.
Like,
been the same.
I've actually been sleeping more, and I've just been more tired. Like, I can't fucking wake up.
Dude, I had no energy for like the last 10, 15, 14, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Do you think it's just stress?
I think
it's the mental stress.
Stress has been part of it.
I think that's what it is, and I think it has a bigger effect than we expect, because we're the kind of guys that think we deal with stress. We just crack on, we carry on.
Yeah.
I genuinely do think that mental lag passes over into the physical.
I think for me, it's been this background, and it's never like up until again the funeral. I think that's when I really started to clock onto it. Is whenever I've got to get up and I've got to do something, I've got to do this and that, and all the shit with the business and personal life and stuff at home and whatever else. There's been this little voice that's, when my alarm's gone off, and well, what's the point? Yeah. And I was like, what's the point? And then you've got to do this, and I was like, but what's the point? And I was like, yeah, okay, we've got this thing that's going on at the gym, and this is going to be thousands of pounds, and I'm like, but what's the point? Does it matter?
And that's like, the bit that takes no energy.
Yeah.
And can be proliferated with zero energy and zero help. And that's why.
That's what has held on. And I was like, realistically, there is no point. But we fucking come into existence, and
no, there is a point. Look at the point. He's gone early, but look at the influence he's left on you, even in the kind of zigzag life he led, which I don't know if we discussed in the last one or not, so I'm not going to go into.
No.
But even with what he did, he left ingrained in you something about his life that affected you. He affected your life. He affected hundreds of people's lives. Don't tell me that's not a fucking point. That's a point.
Yeah.
He affected every single person that was at that funeral in some way. That's a huge point.
I think, like, when it becomes that, for me anyway, when it becomes that final, when you just You're just
Yeah.
not there anymore. All the little shit that you worry about, whether you're like looking at what clothes you're buying, what fucking car you're driving, all this
The material shit doesn't matter.
all of this stuff